Good morning, y'all. We are starting off today by taking a ferry ride because we gotta jump across a pond to get to our next job.
I have separation anxiety.
I'm locking up. Can't be in the vehicle.
Yeah. This ferry ride is our shortcut to a place in Ontario called Manitoulin Island. Up here, it's a sparse community of seasonal cottages, travelers passing through, farms, lakes, and rocks. And shout out to my grade 10 geography teacher, Mr. Collard. I have not forgotten what the Canadian Shield is. It is up here and it is gorgeous. Now, after a drive through what feels like no man's land, we arrive at a private marina where my next ride is going to be coming to get me.
Bye-bye, Maxie. I'm gonna miss ya. Already feeling the separation anxiety.
That's right, where I'm going today, I can't bring my massive trailer toolbox with me.
Looks like my ride might be coming over there.
Let's see. Important job still.
That was the heavy one. Yeah.
Now, I was told it was about a 15-minute boat ride, or 10, depending on who's driving. And I soon found out which one was the 10-minute driver. It was this guy, the one I grew up around hearing his stories of riding speed bikes, popping the wheelies, and having a love for a good ride. Some things don't change. Welcome to Ireson Island, the best buy one half, get the other half free, sort of, I've ever heard of. My friends own one half the island, and they share the other half with this guy, but he's busy and never around. So it's what we Canadians call Crown Land. We'll talk more about this later. Now, this island has fallen into a fairly hard state of disrepair, and today is time to tackle a dilapidated electrical system. First stop, crappy panel number 1.
For those who don't notice, these panels are really bad shape. They're about 40 years old, and they have had enough. We got to change these things out. We're also doing it under a time crunch. Boxes swapped out with new weatherproof cases, probably by about 11 o'clock. So it gives us 2 to 2.5 hours to get these 3 panels swapped out.
All these things are seized up. Nope. I don't have a hammer nearby on the other side of the island, so when they need to skip the subtle tactics, this is about a $1,600 hammer right now. There we go. Man, that is some brittle cable right there.
We're going to be hopping on the boat here in about 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
And heading your way, so about 9:30ish we should be there.
Okay.
But it looks like it's going well. We're ready for the hydro crew to show up. Those poor guys have to take a boat to work.
These guys are here from the local utility company. We needed them to come so that they could cut the power to the island so we could safely remove the old fire hazard panels without live wires being inside of them.
All right. That's it. Yep. Showtime, boys.
Places like this can look like a piece of rugged paradise, but that only lasts about 4 months out of the year up here. The other 8? This place takes a hard beating from sub-zero winters, frigid lake effect winds, and humidity that can roll in. All this just beats on the equipment to the point that it becomes a fire hazard if it's not taken care of. Oh boy, let's just pull this thing off. There we go, panel 3 off. New box for the new panel. Here's the panel. I hope it fits. So the guys and I are doing a divide and conquer where the guys will mount these new boxes and I will put in the new panels and get ready for the inspector. There we go. Panel 3 done.
Excellent.
So someone has to go fetch the inspector at some point. Well, now that we're no longer here, a few stories about what was going on around here.
What was up with this cottage again? This cottage was called Brown Betty.
Okay.
But it was one of the original cottages on the island. And we've had people that came out and they've been coming here since they were born. They walked by here and they were devastated that Brown Betty was gone because they'd stayed in it.
It was in bad shape.
It was falling apart.
As a child, it was in better shape.
Oh, it was.
She's in a better place now.
Yeah.
Beyond repair, and it just spontaneously combusted.
Spontaneously.
Yeah, that's how it rolls out here. This building's just.
It was the strangest thing. It was a nice day with a light rain.
Oh yeah.
And it just, you wouldn't think that it would happen on a day like that.
Brown Betty had enough.
That's right. Brown Betty was tired.
Yep.
Now with break over, we got the call that Ellie is boating in with the electrical inspector, who is going to check the new panels and make sure that nothing else is going to spontaneously combust.
Inspector's here. Everything that we've done is okay, except we need to fix some old stuff. So, Ellie, we're gonna have to be staying here an extra day, and I have to go dig 3 holes in rocks to bury ground plates. It'll be fun, right?
And that's why I don't overbook myself. Now, to spare you everything that transpires, let's just skip to the fun part of being a tourist.
Okay, so the work stuff is done for the day, so we're gonna go exploring. We're gonna get a bit of a guided tour. You know, I found Ellie, who is sunbathing on the back deck. Lady of leisure this afternoon. Here they even have an old lunch bell, because it's like, wow, that is loud, and that is really heavy. My goodness. That hurt. They had fixed meal times in the lodge. This place.
In the early 1900s, Finnish carpenters framed the main lodge with felled trees from the island. Feels like we've stepped back in time with this old furniture, the hunter's trophies, a bar, tuck shop, even an old brick oven for baking bread.
Said, you know how like hardcore this thing is? He says, I build these in Italy. And he said, I wouldn't even touch this for under 500,000 bucks. There's 4 layers of bricks in here. You can imagine it probably took like 10 or 20 bricklayers with a barge full of materials, plus all the mortar, plus all the mix. It probably took them 4 to 6 months to make this. And we're gonna get it working again. I'm gonna be cranking the sourdough hard out of this. The tuck shop was probably here right from the word go, because it's a pretty good scam, to be honest. Like, you come in after supper when you're half in the bag and get something buying more.
Okay, I think I found the craziest piece in this whole museum. Check this out. Boom, look at that. Polaroid camera. Look at that, my goodness. 8 families got together to buy this place. And how many did our friends say that tried to buy the island?
300.
300 tours. Conglomerate of 8 families were the ones that were selected to actually buy the thing.
Curious about how one goes about buying half of an island, I decided to ask Mark about the rigorous process.
My wife and I bought it sight unseen.
Well, there you have it. I'm sure there are no funny moments of panicking later.
And so it was pretty funny, because I remember sitting on the steps right here, and every 15 minutes the emotion would change. So we'd be really excited for 15 minutes, and then we would be really almost terrified, like what did we do? And we knew it was a big commitment. There's 22 buildings on the island, and a lot of them needing roofs and repair and leveling and all that stuff. And
yeah.
So there was 8 couples that came together to buy the island. It really is about building community here on the island and having a place that our kids and generations can come.
Yeah.
You know, the more time you spend here, the more special it becomes.
Yeah.
And I think if you go, if you Google Mordalfton Lodge, you'll come up with 100 years of history. I think you probably saw the plaque that they say the president's staff stayed here, the president of the United States. So Franklin Roosevelt, actually his train was on the siding in Birch Island. And they built ramps and decks down so that he could get safely down to his boat. They actually brought his boat here.
Okay.
But he had his whole train with his dining car and his sleeping car, and the whole deal was on a side over in Birch Island.
Okay.
The Secret Service all came and hung out in the lodge while the president was on shore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and keeping the island from prying eyes. It's in the newspaper. So
Yeah. Well, that's
must be
fascinating.
true.
Yes. Yeah. And that was Franklin Roosevelt, so he would have left here, gone up to Ottawa. Right.
Yes, and into Quebec, actually, where they worked on D-Day and the
Yeah.
planning of D-Day.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that on this island, discussions happened about the plans for D-Day.
Yeah, that helped shape the world that we have today.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is some crazy history. You don't know what the secrets of a land are when you show up.
That's
It's
right.
like, oh, just another island. No.
Thanks for watching War Stories with Mark Felton.
All right, well, that was a blast. We had a lot of fun being on the island there, learning some of the history of the area, making new friends, and just seeing something that's outside the norm for us. But our travels seem to take us all over the place, and it's been an exciting time for us to like see new things. And something else that is exciting is that this channel is suddenly blown up. So if you're one of our newer subscribers, thank you for joining our journey. And thanks to one of our particular videos, it was the trailer tour video, we actually have hit a monetization level on this, and that's exciting, although we weren't planning to quit our day jobs, but we want to use this money for a good cause. So at the time of this recording, we've made about $130 on the video so far, and that's thanks to all of you viewing. Now we're not going to...
through the ads.
And sitting through the
We're
ads.
sorry, we have no control over that.
None whatsoever. They were putting that out before we even turned on AdSense. So we are not going to take that money and pocket it. We're going to be giving it towards a charity and a good cause.
Yes, and that charity that we have partnered with actually goes into prisons and help the people there deal with the decisions they've made in their life and the traumas that they've endured to have led them to be incarcerated. And it helps them upon their release actually retransition back into regular, everyday, civilized society with guidance and support to make better life choices as they go out, because the numbers of the people that once incarcerated end up back in criminal activities, it's incredibly high, but this organization helps make that number a lot lower, and you're helping individual people's lives that are a lot less fortunate than the blessing that Cage and I have. So we're happy to partner with them. So if you sit through an ad, you're actually helping other people in need. So thank you for that.
We hope you enjoy the journey and the ride with us, and we'll see you hopefully next week. Bye.